That's the thing people keep forgetting when they talk about this whole situation. Lil Wayne didn't call a press conference. He didn't post anything. He didn't hint at it in an interview or let something slip on a podcast. TMZ found out the way TMZ always finds out, and suddenly something that was supposed to stay completely private was sitting in front of millions of people at once. And once that happened, the story stopped being just about an engagement. It became about the woman. Who is she? Where did she come from? How does someone from Indiana end up with a ring from Lil Wayne on her finger? Those questions hit the internet like a lit match hits gasoline.
Missus can't be fucked with. Hoes ain't talking about nothing. Every time I look.
TMZ reported that Wayne had quietly proposed to a woman in her 20s from Indiana. That was it. No name, no photo, no details about when it happened or how. Just Indiana and her 20s, and the fact that it was apparently done without anyone outside of their immediate circle knowing. For most celebrities, that level of secrecy would be impossible to maintain. For Wayne, it actually makes sense, because if you look at how he's moved through his entire personal life, he has never been someone who performs his relationships for an audience. He performs for his audience when he's on stage. Everything else gets kept inside. But here's where it got complicated fast. The internet didn't need Wayne to give them a name. They went looking for one themselves. And the collective effort that followed across Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok was one of the most organized pieces of online detective work you'll see around a celebrity story. People were cross-referencing locations.
Weezy F Baby and the F is for fiancé. Weezy is officially off the market. TMZ is reporting Wayne popped the question earlier this year to a woman.
Pulling up old posts, looking at timestamps, Quada, checking who appeared in the background of photos connected to Wayne's world. It was methodical in a way that felt almost unsettling, because within a very short window of time, a name emerged. Madi Cannon, Madi K, a 23-year-old from Kokomo, Indiana. Kokomo. Let that word sit there for a second. Not Atlanta, not Houston, not any city that you'd naturally connect to the world Wayne lives in. Kokomo, Indiana, population around 58,000, sitting an hour north of Indianapolis, the kind of place most people outside the Midwest couldn't find on a map without help. And yet, this is apparently where the thread leads. This is where the woman fans believe Wayne put a $100,000 yellow diamond ring on is from Guam. The question that came immediately, how? How does Lil Wayne end up connected to someone from Kokomo, Indiana? The answer is skateboarding. And if you know Wayne at all, that answer actually lands perfectly. Skateboarding is not a hobby he picked up for optics. He doesn't skate because it makes him look cool or because some brand paid him to. He genuinely loves it. He has talked about it in sit-down interviews going back years. People who have been around him have described how seriously he takes it, how it's one of the few things outside of music where he completely switches off from being Lil Wayne, the rapper, and just exists as someone who wants to skate. Kokomo apparently has a real skateboarding community. Wayne reportedly visits there because of it, and somewhere in that he crossed paths with Madi Cannon. That's not a far-fetched origin story. That's actually a very human one. Kokomo apparently has a real skateboarding community. Wayne reportedly visits there because of it. And somewhere in that, he crossed paths with Madi Cannon. That's not a far-fetched origin story. That's actually a very human one. Madi goes by Madi K on Instagram. Her handle is at Zomadic. An Indiana-based platform called At Blackened Alive was one of the first outlets to connect her name to the story, describing her as a recognized social media personality in the area. She has a following. She has a presence. But she was not, by any stretch, a national figure before her name got tied to Wayne's. She was known in her community, had her audience online, and was living what looked from the outside like a regular life for a 23-year-old with a social media following. Then everything changed overnight. The moment her name started circulating, people flooded her page. Her follower count jumped. Every post she had ever made was suddenly being examined by strangers who had never heard of her before that day. And the thing that kept coming up, the thing that kept getting screenshotted and shared and zoomed in on was a ring. A yellow diamond engagement ring. Kind of ring that runs around $100,000. Kind of ring that is not something you throw on casually. Photos circulating online.
Lil Wayne's alleged fiancée, Madi Cannon, from Indiana, surfaces on tour amid secret engagement reports.
Showed Madi wearing it, and once people saw it, the conversation shifted from speculation to something that felt a lot more concrete. Because a ring like that has a specific meaning. You don't wear a $100,000 yellow diamond on that finger by accident. Fans didn't stop at the ring. They kept going. Because that's what happens when the internet decides it wants answers. People started pulling up footage from Wayne's recent shows and combing through it. And what they found is where this story really starts to get interesting. An Instagram page called Live Bites posted a video featuring Madi, claiming that she had been traveling with Wayne on past tour stops. They also posted a photo that allegedly showed her at one of his recent performances. And then came the clip that spread further than anything else. Backstage footage from before a Wayne performance, showing Madi standing directly behind him as he walked toward the stage. Not in the audience, not in a VIP section. Backstage, steps behind him, walking with him. People who have never been to a major concert in their life understand what backstage means at this level. This isn't a small show at a club where the bouncer looks the other way. Not in the audience, not in a VIP section. Backstage, steps behind him, walking with him. People who have never been to a major concert in their life understand what backstage means at this level. This isn't a small show at a club where the bouncer looks the other way. Lil Wayne is performing in arenas, on major tour stops, with full production crews and layers of security. The space, right before the stage, where the artist is in the final moments before walking out, that is the most restricted area of the entire venue. Every single person in that space is deliberate. Nobody drifts back there by accident. Nobody ends up steps behind the headlining artist while he's about to go on, unless that's exactly where they're supposed to be. When fans saw that footage, the reaction wasn't confusion, it was recognition, because that clip doesn't look like a fan who got lucky. It doesn't look like a +1 who charmed their way through security. It looks like someone who belongs there, someone the team knows, someone Wayne himself put in that position. Wayne stayed silent. Madi stayed silent. No statement, no denial, no acknowledgement that any of this was even happening, which, if you know Wayne, is completely consistent with how he handles everything personal. He did the same thing when the Super Bowl halftime situation was all over the news. He did the same thing when Denise Bidot went public with everything she went through at the end of their relationship. He doesn't manage his personal narrative through press releases or social media clarifications. He just keeps living his life and lets people say what they're going to say. The Denise Bidot situation is worth pausing on for a second because it's the immediate backdrop to all of this. Bidot, who had been in an on and off relationship with Wayne since 2020, went on Instagram in May 2025 and told everything. She said he ended things via text on Mother's Day. She said she was 5 weeks out from surgery and couldn't lift boxes when his people came to move her out of his house. She said her daughter had to go through it with her. She said things about the relationship that went far beyond a typical breakup story. And Wayne, through all of it, said absolutely nothing publicly. That silence frustrated a lot of people. But it's also just who he is. He has been that way his entire career. When the Cash Money lawsuit was dragging on for years, he handled it legally, not for Twitter rants. When the beef with Birdman was at its ugliest, he let the music speak and kept the private stuff private. The silence around Madi isn't unusual. It's the default setting. What makes the fan investigation around her different from typical celebrity gossip is how specific it got. This wasn't just people saying, "I think it might be her," and leaving it at that. They built an actual case. The TMZ report said, Indiana, Madi is from Indiana. The report said she was in her 20s. Madi is 23. The ring in her photos is visible and unmistakably the kind of piece that fits the story. The backstage footage places her in a space that requires direct access from Wayne's inner circle. The tour sightings across multiple cities suggest this isn't a one-time appearance. Every single piece of information that was publicly available fit. Nothing directly contradicted anything. That's not nothing. Most fan theories around celebrity relationships fall apart somewhere. There's always a detail that doesn't quite line up, an assumption that stretches too far, a timeline that doesn't work. This one kept holding together the more people looked at it. What nobody talks about enough in this story is what it says about Wayne himself at this point in his life. He turned 43 in September. He has been in this industry since he was a child, literally a child. Signed at 11, recording before he was a teenager. Famous before most of the people buying his music were born, he has been through more in his personal life than most people go through in several lifetimes. Cash money years, the lawsuits, the health scares, the relationships that played out in public whether he wanted them to or not, being passed over for the Super Bowl halftime show in his own hometown of New Orleans, something he has openly said hurt him deeply. A man who has carried all of that for this long, who has seen what public relationships cost when they fall apart in front of an audience, it makes complete sense that when he found something real, he would keep it as close and as quiet as possible. No announcement, no hard launch, no letting the world in until he was ready, if ever. Just a ring and a woman he trusts enough to have walking beside him before he goes on stage in front of thousands of people. There's something genuinely human in that image. Not the celebrity version of it, not the red carpet, not the magazine cover, just a man walking toward a stage with the person he chose right behind him. Madi Cannon, for her part, has not confirmed or denied anything. She hasn't posted anything addressing the speculation. She hasn't gone private. She hasn't made any statement. She's a 23-year-old from a mid-sized city in Indiana who woke up one day and found herself at the center of one of the bigger celebrity gossip stories of the year. And she has handled it by simply not engaging with it at all. That restraint honestly says something too, because the easier thing, the thing most people in that position would be tempted to do, is either deny it and kill the story, or confirm it and ride the wave of attention. She's done neither. And the fact that she hasn't panicked publicly, hasn't tried to control the narrative, hasn't played into the speculation for clout, that actually fits the profile of someone who knows what's going on and is choosing to protect it the same way Wayne is. The internet will keep doing what the internet does. More footage will surface, more screenshots will circulate, people will keep refreshing her page looking for a slip, a tagged location, a comment from a familiar account, anything that adds one more piece to the picture, and every time something new turns up, the story restarts. That cycle doesn't stop until one of them decides to address it, or until something bigger comes along and pulls the attention away. Wayne's next album, The Carter Vi, has been talked about for a while now. When that drops, whenever that is, it will take over the conversation completely. The music always does. It always has. That's the one constant across everything in his career. The personal chaos, the business drama, the relationship stories. They come and they go. But right now, before that happens, this is the story. A woman from Kokomo, Indiana. A yellow diamond ring. A backstage video that places her exactly where she'd need to be if everything people are saying is true. And two people who have decided, for now at least, that they don't owe the world an explanation. Maybe they never will, and maybe that's completely fine. What nobody fully appreciates about fan culture in 2025 is how coordinated it has become. This wasn't a few people speculating in a comment section. This was hundreds of accounts across multiple platforms, running what amounted to a parallel investigation, sharing findings, correcting each other, building on what the person before them had already figured out. Someone in one thread would notice a location tag. Someone else would cross-reference it with a Wayne show date. a third person would find a photo from that same city that same week. The pieces got passed up a chain until a picture formed that none of them could have assembled alone. Madi Cannon never asked to be at the center of that. She's a young woman who had a life before this week, before her name became something people were typing into search bars and pulling up in group chats. The scrutiny that came with being identified as Wayne's alleged fiancé is the kind that changes how you exist online permanently. Even if every single assumption fans have made turns out to be wrong, the association is already there. Her name and his name are now connected in search results, in articles, in comment threads. And if it's all true, then she's about to find out what it means to be permanently in frame next to one of the most watched people in music. No amount of privacy settings prepares you for that. Wayne has lived in that frame his entire adult life. He knows exactly what it costs, which is probably why, when he found something worth protecting, he protected it so completely that TMZ had to break the news, and even they only got the outline.